In a simple neighborhood in Palestine, Mohammed was returning home after a long day at work. The sun was setting, and the street was quiet except for a few passersby. Suddenly, a military vehicle stopped suddenly near him. Soldiers rushed out and surrounded Mohammed without any warning. One of the soldiers shouted harshly, "Stop! Raise your hands!" Mohammed slowly raised his hands, tension evident on his face. He didn't know what was happening or why he was being targeted. Before he could ask, the soldiers had already handcuffed him. He tried to speak. "What did I do? Why are you arresting me?" But another soldier responded in a gruff voice, "Be quiet." In the meantime, the residents of the street started gathering, filled with fear and worry. Among them were Ahmed, Mohammed's brother, and his younger sister, Joanna. Ahmed saw what was happening and shouted loudly, "Mohammed, let him go. What do you want from him?" Ahmed rushed toward the soldiers, but they pushed him back, preventing anyone from approaching. Mohammed looked sadly at his brother as he was dragged into the military vehicle, which sped away, leaving behind a cloud of dust and the distressed voices of the people. At home, sadness overwhelmed the family. Ahmed sat beside his mother, who silently wept in the corner of the room. He tried to comfort her, but he didn't know what to say. Joanna, who stood by the window, seemed anxious, unable to sit still or calm down. "We don't know anything about him. No news, no visits allowed," Joanna said in a sorrowful voice, her eyes fixed on the outside as if she were waiting for a miracle. Ahmed, unable to bear the situation any longer, said anxiously, "We can't go on like this. We have to find a way." Joanna turned to Ahmed, her eyes filled with determination. "Let's wait until tomorrow. I'll talk to Teacher Abrar. There has to be a solution." The next day, at school, Joanna and Ahmed sat in front of their teacher, Abrar. The place was quiet except for Abrar's firm voice as she spoke. "Mohammed is not alone in this, but we have to be smart. It won't be easy," Abrar said seriously, looking at them. Ahmed, feeling anxious and worried about his brother, said, "We're ready. What do we need to do?" Abrar looked at them both and then said firmly, "I'll help you, but we need careful planning." "There's a way, but it's dangerous," Joanna responded with a determined tone filled with resolve. "We won't back down." At night, the plan was set in motion. Ahmed, Joanna, and Abrar sneaked cautiously toward the prison wall. The area was dark except for a few distant lights. The sound of soldiers could be heard occasionally, but they were far enough away. "Now we'll climb the wall here. We have to be quick," Abrar whispered as she looked up at the high wall. Ahmed climbed first, followed by Joanna, and then Abrar. After some effort, they reached a secluded area behind the prison, where the cells were close by. Ahmed looked inside and whispered, "There, I think he's in the third cell." They approached the window, and there was Mohammed. He looked weak and exhausted, but he noticed their presence and slowly came closer. His eyes were filled with fatigue. "Mohammed," Joanna whispered excitedly, tears streaming down her face. Mohammed looked at them in disbelief and whispered in a tired voice, "Ahmed? Joanna? Is this real?" Quickly, the group started trying to break the window using a small tool Abrar had brought. After several attempts, they managed to free Mohammed, who struggled to crawl out of the cell. At dawn, they finally reached the neighborhood. Mohammed, Ahmed, Joanna, and Abrar returned to the neighborhood accompanied by the other freed prisoners. The residents had begun to emerge from their homes to greet them. Joy filled the place, and tears streamed down people's faces. Mohammed's mother hugged her son tightly, unable to believe he had returned. "Thank God, you're safe," she said in a trembling voice as she held Mohammed close to her chest. Joanna smiled, then said to her mother proudly, "We did it, Mom. He's back." The feelings of joy and sorrow blended together as the residents celebrated the return of the freed prisoners to their freedom. In that moment, life began to return to the neighborhood, amidst feelings of pride and victory. The end.